It's the Connie Knockout champions Orlando Pirates to get this game underway, attacking the goal to the right of your picture, whilst the All-Star team will attack the goal to the left of your picture. So, should be plenty of excitement here, entertainment in the away of goals as Hotto and company look to get onto the front foot immediately here. As the All-Star team will have to just slow down Orlando Pirates for the time being here. John Hotto seen plenty of it inside the opening 30 seconds. Pirates again looking menacing as they try and create the first opening of the afternoon. Down with a touch. And they create the opening chance here. The All-Star team looking for the penalty. The referee's got a great view on this. And the decision in the end sees him advance, scored in hand, and ball from Fundo Bilagazi. A look of disbelief as he has granted the yellow card here. That's a disbelief from Bilagazi. Scorer a couple of years ago against Stellenbosch, he and Ashley Duclair in the 2-1 win for the All-Star team. Now, was Makhaula a tad late with this challenge? Was there any contact with Vilagazi? Tell you what, at first asking, that first angle looked as though it's a great call from Siabo Mangom. The second angle may pose a question or two. Now, Osangani. Options and runners up ahead of him, looking for the killer ball. Good movement, great goalkeeping from Peterson. Spotted the danger early. And there is your champion coach, Ngozi Tonga. The man from Zingwa, here in the Kingdom of the Zulu, just 31 years of age. In a position millions in the country would love to be in right now. Confidence has just grown immensely this season. One has to point out in the way he's gone about football in starting the season out at kaizerchiefs, and in recent times, of course.
Looking to get the better of him here, and Dion Hotto has done tremendously well with an extravagant piece of skill. Still alive for Pirates. Eventually thumped clear by Tulani Mabaso. Well positioned. Santos strikes, takes a deflection, and over the top. Dushabalala latching onto that one.
Told you about Santos. He was going direct, the wall doing its job, but look who pounces from the ricochet of the ball. Mdu Shabalala. That's one player we have in South Africa that knows how to calculate his area and positioning himself in the box. That's Shabalala for you. Excellent in that department.
And a touch from Siema as well to divert it over the bar. That was heading on target, and it might have been too close range for Buthelezi to keep out. They've taken the corner short. Mdu Shabalala. Hotto into space. That's a good ball from Hotto. Oh! The opener has come in stunning fashion from Lutuli. A magical moment for the Carling Knockout Kings. A week after lifting that trophy, they've taken a step towards another.
Always said, Grant, a game can be won from the bench, and that's what we're witnessing with this Orlando Pirates team. They have introduced Lutuli, and this was the first touch of the ball from him. You look how he bends his run, but good distribution from Telezi, finding Hotto. Hotto's always be playing those balls, looking for the runs behind the defenders. Look at Lutuli, how he gets to the ball, and he can notice that Mokoena has left his lines. He just loops it over Mokoena, but what a brilliant run. You know, he just ran off the shoulders of the last defenders, freed himself, got to that ball with his lanky feet. He just strided, and then he put it just over Mokoena's head. Mokoena just feel that he just should have kept his line, not go out early, because he sold himself there. He was in no man's land. That's where Lutuli just easy tap in, but for him the confidence to just tap it over and the dance.
for Lutuli. He has had a long relationship with the Buccaneers over the years, having played for the Diski Challenge side many seasons ago, and spent time in the ABC Motsepe League with Bele and on loan at Pretoria Cali. So this will be a big moment for him, regardless of the exhibition status of the match. That's
those 1-2s. If somebody can take a shot, we know Mokoena, Bennett takes those shots.
Santos found Marco on the opposite flank. Rolls it in here for Shabalala. Hoping that someone would meet that at the near post, which was almost the case with Hlongwane coming rushing in.
The right decision, but the easiest option is to pull it back towards the 6-yard or the penalty spot when you're in that angle.
We have 7 minutes left to decide who will be the champion of the match. Still he goes on, and that has skewed horribly off his boot.
That's because before that kick, the touch, that's where he was supposed to shoot, because his mind was already made up. But with that extra touch, as we see Alanda rotating it there, Marco, there, Grant, is where you have it. Yeah. But when he had that extra touch already, he was moving out of the angle of that shooting area with his left. If he would have curled it, then it was something going to be better.
His frustration was evident. Coach Mangoba has thrown on some real quality in the second period, and not to run himself offside. He's picked a great pass here, edge of the area, shoots, and it's wide of the mark from the 18-year-old. Was that Hlongwane taking the shots?
There's Hlongwane just controlling and setting up Bennett, yeah. And Bennett, I've seen him shoot like this against Richards Bay in the DDC, scoring a good goal. But now I think he just rushed his shot, you know, because now the ball was stuck in between his legs. He wanted to adjust himself. That's why it went wide.
Had lacked power as well. Had it been heading on target, I think Buthelezi would have sprawled and got there. Really had to dig it out. As you say, the ball trapped under his feet slightly. Quality that he possesses.
Absolutely. Sometimes the injury, Grant, can set you back, but it's the mental strength to recover from the injury and go to a default setting.
Oh, Radiopane has always had so much strength. Drives forward and scores brilliantly. Oh. Deposits that in the bottom corner. Expert finish from Boitumelo Radiopane.
One thing I can tell you, you mentioned it yourself right now. You said the strength that Radiopane has to go past players and block the players. We've seen it in the DDC. He was loaned out at Cape Town Spurs. He was doing the same thing. He fell, you said injury, and then you look at the defeated face of Bennett Mokoena. That's because Bennett Mokoena and Radiopane comes from the Val. Look how he just goes past Nkabinde. Nkabinde should have just closed him down. The strength that he goes past the players, Langa first, and then just puts it past and keeps it hard and low to the furthest corner, and Mokoena is beating. Look at Kabinde, let himself down. He should have made a tackle to try block that ball. But Radiopane, he's the prolific striker you want. You know, he reminds me of the likes of Romario from Brazil back in the days.
And he had a choice to make to go on the outside of Kabinde and close his angle, but he backed himself to finish in the manner that he has. And my word, that was excellently done by Radiopane. And now Pirates have a 2-goal lead and look like they will become the first Carling knockout champions to get the better of the All-Stars team. Stellenbosch failed in 2023. They went down 2-1. They were 3-0 down fairly early in that game. Mervyn Bodji scored what was, in the end, a late consolation. I guess he didn't even net against the All-Stars last season. A little bit of history in the offing here for the Buccaneers. Time though still to try and force their way back into this game.
We did say the arsenal that Paris possesses in their camp, it's unbelievable. The two players that scored those goals coming from the bench, Grant, changing the game around. I mean, since Litoula has been introduced, he's more to the ball, also helping in defense. And Radiopane protects that ball very well when he's played. And look at the run that he makes, you know, just bumping a defender, go past one, and then, like you said, backing himself up. And the shot that he took, keeping it hard and low. We mentioned that the surface is a bit wet, and that was the right technique to shoot that ball.
Zayende to Dushabalala. Ndlondlo. Ayende. Santos now. A little awkward for Lisanda. Sitole. Kabinde. Ndlondlo drills it to the feet of Santos. Too hot for him to control. Kabinde sliding in, necessarily so. Looked as though it might get away from him, and he's not gone to ground like that. Santos for Marco. Ndlondlo, Santos. Nice ball out wide. And the Pirates standing firm. Santos. Kabinde. Shabalala. Ndlondlo. Always rising.
Always rising, because he's leaning back every time he takes shots like that. That's one game that he needs to improve on, because we've seen him hit them, but the rotation ball where Santos and Allende is involved, also Shabalala getting onto the ball, there, Grant, you just lean forward on the ball and you keep it low, as we saw Radiopane do it. But Ndlondlo, once again, for the second time in the game, leaning back, and that ball just goes aerially.
Now they have to work the ball out from the back here. All Stars. Sitole. That's hung up in the air for an age. Ndlondlo. Ayende. And Kabinde. It's not to use Langa on his outside, instead locating Santos. Now Marco. Ndlondlo. Shabalala dispossessed. Falls though for Santos. Shabalala gets it back. Here's Mdu Shabalala. Another very routine save for Buthelezi to make.
A bit better from All Stars. The players, they're getting to the right place. Dushabalala looking to take a shot at goal, which is what we want more out of them, because now, since the introduction of Santos, he's moved from the left-hand side and come just next to Allende, and you can tell that those 1-2s, they are able to find Shabalala up front and Bennett. to make that extra touch. As we look at Lande, just 80, Selepe's tackle, but recovery. Lande protecting the ball very well and earning himself a foul. I was saying, Grant, ball players, they want to be on the ball too much. That's why we see All-Stars, they're rotating the ball more than they should. 3 touches for Orlando Pirates, the first goal was scored. So you need players that can alter the game. Sometimes take a shot, as we saw Shabalala do earlier on.
Allende, Santos, now Marco. Marco's ball in, repelled by CMI. Allende latches onto it. Pirates determined to preserve this clean sheet. Lutuli isolated. Leaves the ball behind. Not that it matters all too much now. We have a minute to go. Santos. Free kick Orlando. Oh, they had just 2 training sessions and a team not selected by Mangoba Miti. There were certainly spells in this game where they looked to be the dominant outfits, but Coach Swadu has masterminded yet another Orlando Pirates victory. It's had a tremendous impact since arriving on our shores. First with Marumo Gallants, introduced himself to the watching public with a victory over Orlando Pirates, and has found himself in charge of what has been a tremendous few months for the Buccaneers, and a week on from winning the curling knockout final. They come up against the curling all-stars to claim the curling cup, and all you can say about today's performance is clinical.
Clinical, Grant, you know, I repeat it again and mimic it again. The strength, the depth that the Orlando Pirates has, the signings they've made during the off-season, it's what gives them these results today. Curling Cup All-Stars came back first half and did so much work, you know, denied 2 penalties, but we're probing, we're getting to the right areas. Just second half, it was always going to be difficult. When you introduced the likes of Lituli, the likes of Radiopane, players who are hungry to impress, Selepe in the middle of the park, those are the players that changed the game around and put pressure on the young men. We watched Mukwena Bennett with Hlongwane, the boys from Sibuke, the Val.
It's wonderful to see these DDC boys getting their opportunities. Many of them we've watched in the DDC, or at very least at junior national team level, and they deserve this opportunity. They've come up short though against a powerful Buccaneers side. Without their AFCON bound stars, they have